I had one of those, wow, you're an idiot moments. That's what I had to tell myself after I discovered I did not record my audio correctly with the last two episodes. I sat down, I was so excited. I felt like we were going to have two good races, and we do. We did. We had two excellent races, and I was messing around with my settings, trying to do a couple things, and I accidentally left the audio off instead of clicking it back on. And so this episode's going to look a little bit different. It's going to feel a little bit different because it is going to be different. Is that we are going to actually do a voiceover. My little face box is going to be down there. That's how I recorded it on OBS right now, just because I don't have a massive setup. And so you're going to see my face, and it's going to feel like I'm like dubbing over it or something like that. But that's what's going on in this. So everything's a little bit shorter just because this is my first time doing it, experimenting with it. But also, if it's a little bit tough to watch, I don't want you guys to have to watch it for a long period of time. And so we can get on to the next episode, but you're going to watch two races in one episode in about 20-25 minutes or so. And they're really good races. I would just like to say, if you're like, I don't know about this, Ben, I don't know. It's like, no, they're really good races. I promise you, there are points to be had. I'll give you a little sneak peek, okay? We have two races in a row where we are competing for points, and at least in one, we get points out of it. And we get our best finish of the season in a Grand Prix. All right, so if you've been following along, I didn't tie it. We had our best finish in a Grand Prix. It's a great two races, and we got to mess with McLaren a little bit. And so that's always a joy. All right, welcome to the Hungary, everybody. We are on our way, and we're just going to go ahead and start bumping up our fuel and our tires. So here's the situation. Obviously, you saw the intro. Not really doing this live right now. It's a voiceover, and so I already know what's going to happen. And so we're gonna have a little bit of fun. It's gonna feel a little bit different, but it's gonna be a good time. So we're two stopping. So the theory is that we are going to go from mediums to softs to hards for both drivers, with the theory that we are going to be lapped at some point, and there it is. And there it is. Well, our tires, that's what we were supposed to do in our tires, and Award has locked up. Lap 1, Award is locked up. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Is that he's locked up, so we're looking at standard here, and now I'm like, are we gonna have to change the tire strategy here? I mean, are we gonna have to change the tire strategy? And so we do change the tire strategy. As you guys can see, is that Award ended up in 22nd, and now we've made our way back up to 21st. And now we're starting to get some passes, as a few people already have mechanical failures, Hamilton being one, and Alonso having a mechanical fault. Not a failure, but faults going on. He's having a pretty major one as well. And Award is actually going to go and start making up more positions, and he's going to take Sargent, and he's going to now... Sargent's going to come back on Award, and Sargent's going to try to keep Award behind him, but Award has DRS. He's looking to go around the outside. He breaks a little bit later, and there goes Award. And now he can have his eyes set on Albon. Albon has passed Ocon, and we caught Ocon. And so Award is cutting through this field like a hot knife through butter, baby. And so Award is able to make the nice move on Ocon. And once again, setting his sights on Albon, as it looks like more people now have faults, and Albon is one of them. And so this is a really nice recovery by Award after a lap 1 lockup that sent him back to 22nd in the grid. He is now able to make himself all the way back up to Albon. And if you look at the tires, Albon has worse tires than Award, and Grosjean has good tires, and he's probably going to catch Magnussen because Magnussen's on hards, and we're on mediums. And so the medium runners right here look like now we have the advantage on Magnussen. We have the advantage on Bottas. We actually technically have an advantage on Alonso, even though he's pretty far up ahead of us. But we've got tires to be able to make the pass. And so let's go ahead. We flipped over to Grosjean because right here, we think that Grosjean's going to be able to get past Magnussen. And this should be a pretty easy, pretty standard pass as we've got DRS on one of the 2 DRS straights here at the Hungaroring. And so we're going to look to the inside of Magnussen. Magnussen's going to let us go, and we're going to complete the easy pass on Magnussen. And now we have, once again, we have better tires than Valtteri Bottas, and so let's go catch Bottas. And as that was going on, Award made a great move. Award made a great move on the Alpine. I'm guessing that's Gasly because we already passed Ocon, and now we're looking to the inside of Albon, but we didn't make the move on Albon. And so we're right there on Albon, and now one lap later, we've caught Bottas, and we just go right by Bottas, and right there, right in front of us is Daniel Ricciardo. And now, 2 laps after that, we've caught the back of Albon. And now Award is trying to pass Albon, and it looks like we're going to be able to complete the pass on Albon. So after the lap 1 issues with Award, with the lockup going all the way back down to 22nd, we've actually been able to continue to catch people. And that being said, is now it looks like Fernando Alonso is going to try to go right around Award because Alonso had shuffled back. And now we're going to see that we're in the pits. The pit cycle started, so we need to get into the pits. Lap 19, getting into the pits. We're not going to drop back that far with Award, and we're hoping for a good pit stop here. Let's hope for a good pit stop, boys. Let's get a good pit stop. Good pit stop. All right, awesome. A 2.58. Not bad for that pit stop. Love the pit stop. All we do is fall back behind Valtteri Bottas, and now we actually get to move up the grid again. We're 13 seconds behind Bottas here, but out in front of Ocon. And now Grosjean's coming in 3 laps later because the doofus Award decided to mess up his tires. That's why we had to put him on mediums, but Grosjean's going to go on soft, so Grosjean is going to be just a little bit quicker as Magnussen is going into the pits as well. And so really, all we lose a position is to Bottas. So Grosjean just loses the position to Bottas, but just a few laps later, there's a yellow flag. What's going on? Albon! Albon's in the wall! Albon's in the wall! This is fantastic. All right, so Albon has crashed. We don't have to deal with Albon anymore. He's out. And now we get to go after Bottas here. And so Albon just loses the back end, and that has to be disappointing for Albon. Watch your mouth, Alexander. And so now that the virtual safety car has now ended, we are going to go and try to catch Bottas. So we're going to go deploy and Bottas actually dove into the pits right before we could reach him. And so we still have our deploy on because now the goal is to get as far away from Valtteri Bottas as we can. And there's another yellow flag. What has happened? Daniel Ricciardo's on the side. Daniel Ricciardo has crashed. He's out. Danny Rick is out. Oh, this is fantastic. We're P13. We're P14. That's going to bring us up to P12 and P13. Fantastic. And Hamilton has another fault. And I believe at this point, I don't think I got it, is that Verstappen has a fault as well. So Verstappen is slowing down, which means there it is, Max Verstappen, mechanical fault. As I was saying it, I couldn't remember where it was. And oh, he's out! Oh, Verstappen is out! There's also another yellow flag! The insanity! The absolute insanity! Max Verstappen is out! That gets Grosjean to P10! Oh! And what's happened to Piastri? As all of this is going on, Verstappen is out. Piastri gets hit by Show! Piastri gets hit by Show! Oh, suck it, Piastri! Alright, we're going into the pits. That was a little bit crazy. It's lap 41 now. That happened a few laps ago. You can see Verstappen is out. Piastri has some damage. And Alonso pitted and is now on another set of tires, but he can't make it to the end. Just so that you guys know, I know he can't make it to the end. And so Award's coming in. Let's get those mediums off. It's now time for the hards because I haven't learned my lesson yet. I haven't learned that the hards are absolutely awful in this game, but we're going on to him. And so is Grosjean. That's honestly, that was the only way that we could actually make this work. I tried to go like medium, soft, medium, and extend the softs as much as you can. I'm showing you my Star Wars mug because Star Wars rule, I actually have it right here next to me again. But Grosjean is actually going to get out in P11. And so we pit and there's no issues. We come back in the same place and now Zhou's out. And now Zhou's out. Zhou, you did us a service by hitting Piastri. You're our hero. And you just lost the back end and just crushed yourself. You lost the back end and you crushed yourself. There's nothing you can do about that, Zhou. There's nothing you can do about that except be better. And so now that we're on our way, look at where Alonso is at. Look at where Alonso is at. Before that clip, he was 3 seconds in front of us, and now, I know it's a quick clip, but now Alonso had to pit. Alonso has to pit, and is 14 seconds behind us, and now he has a mechanical fault. Alonso has a mechanical fault. Award has jumped Grosjean, and he's in 10th. Grosjean's in 11th, and Alonso has a mechanical fault. But sneak peek, he's never going to go into the pits here. We just ride around the entire time. It's 3 laps to go. Award is now almost 8 seconds in front of Grosjean, and he's 20-something seconds in front of Alonso. I can't math that fast. And now, just 3 laps later, it's the finish, and Award actually brings it home. Lock up on number 1, on lap number 1, and he brings it home, and there he is. We're number 1. We're number 1. Okay, we got 1 point. We got 1 point. We need to calm down just a little bit. We did get a point. Lock up 22nd on lap 2 to getting 10th on the final lap, which is absolutely fantastic. He had it in the bag for a while, and Carlos Sainz ran away with it. He had a over 30-second lead on it. Almost all, like 30 seconds lead on everybody, which is absolutely insane over Perez. And so you can see that Carlos Sainz finished up top. And now we are moving on to Spa. It is rainy in Spa. When I say rainy, I mean like it's rainy. Like everybody's on wets the entire race. There's some times where it is interweather, but the debate is that would the interweather last long enough for you to actually want to put inters on? And I will tell you, no. So we're starting P9. We actually started P12 as well, and Grosjean is now 11th because he has already passed Lance Stroll, Daddy's money. All right, he's already passed Baby Stroll, and so we are now just chilling out. And after that last race, with the absolute craziness of the last race, now this race, it should be just a little bit calmer, right? It should be just a little bit calmer. There's not going to be any sort of calamity at all. And we're just going to ride around. We're going to try to keep Hamilton behind us as long as we can. We're going to try to keep up with Tsunoda and Alonso because we beat Alonso in the last race. We're just going to try to keep up with these guys the best that we can. And let's see what happens. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see. It's only 44 laps. And now lap 4, Norris, who started way back behind us, has now caught Grosjean. He's put everybody else down. And now it's time to, let's see if we can let's keep Norris behind us. Grosjean, keep Norris behind us. Don't let him go up the inside! Don't let him go up the inside! Grosjean! What is wrong with you? And so we're letting our arch rival just go by us. I get it. We're not nearly as good as the McLaren, but seriously, Grosjean, get a grip. We need to be there. And so we're going to try to get back to when we couldn't. But there's a yellow flag. What has happened? Daniel Ricciardo, 2 races in a row. He's locked up into turn 8. That's going to eat his tires away. All right, this entire race is about how long can you get the wet tires to last, because it gets interweather, it gets below a 3.8, 3.6, it gets close to 2.5 at places in this race. You need tire to be able to finish this race, and so we'll see if Danny Ricciardo is able to recover. But I can tell you right now, you can look at his tires, he's at 49, everybody else is in the 70s, and so he's going to have a really hard time. He's probably going to have to pit before everybody else, which also means he's going to cycle all the way back. He's going to have to cycle all the way back. And now Norris is on the back bumper of... I don't know why I did that. Norris is on the back bumper of Award. And Award lets him through. Are you kidding me? Is that we can't keep anybody behind us. At least we can't keep the McLarens behind us. But as I was saying, Daniel Ricciardo pushed into the limit. This is... I mean, we're so close to the start-finish on the wrong side of the start-finish. He just started the lap, and he got a puncture. And so Daniel Ricciardo is going to go and cycle all the way to the back. He's all the way in the back, which means we get 10th back. All right, Norris is pitted because he burned through a lot of tires to get through people. And so Norris is now behind us. So we're now back up to 9th place, which is nice. We're just a nice, comfortable ride. This is seeming good. At some point, we are going to have to go on to, you can see we're at 42 and 43%. At some point, we are going to have to go on to new wet tires, but we're trying to time it out so that we have enough tire for the finish as well. And so we've gone back to a standard pace, and now Norris is behind Grosjean. Let's see if we can keep Norris behind us this time. Can we keep him behind us for more than just one corner? Just one turn. Let's see. Come on. Here we go, Grosjean. Make up for the last time. Be better. Be better. Beat Norris to this turn. Do not let Norris by you, Grosjean. Grosjean, please. Can we please spoil his race? Please, let's spoil the race. We're not pushing fuel just so that we can hold him up a little bit more if he stays behind us, and he does. All right, so we're not pushing fuel. We don't have extra ERS on because we don't want him to get behind us. We're going to deploy out of this corner, out of this turn, because we don't want him to have the advantage on the DRS more than he already does. And so we're going to deploy right here. We're going to deploy and try to get away from him so that on this short little DRS, he doesn't have enough time to get to us. I guess I don't know why I'm saying DRS because... let's be honest, it is almost 6 millimeters of water, so I should probably cut that out, but I'll leave it for you guys because you're probably wondering the same thing that I am. But we're going to deploy once again right out there so that his straight line speed can't catch us. Remember, we're 22nd in straight line speed with Grosjean, and so we're just trying to stay in front of him and spoil his race a little bit. We've been able to back him up. We were 5 seconds. We're now almost 7 seconds behind Stroll. So at the beginning of lap 11, we were just about 5.5 seconds, and now we're almost 7 seconds. So that's how much we're spoiling Norris's race here. We're now 8 seconds or so. Is that an 8 or a 9? Ben, move your mouse. We can't see. And so we're just spoiling it. He's now 9 seconds. It's now 9 seconds, and he's now going to go down the inside. And he's actually now going to be able to take us. But we just made him from 5.5 behind Stroll to 9 seconds behind Stroll. Fantastic. That's what I'm talking about. And so Award's going to come in first. Try to get a little mini undercut from people. It's actually a little bit later than I first intended because there was a lot of inter-running in the beginning. A little bit later than I first intended because I didn't want to get stuck behind all the slow people. Nobody else was pitting, and a 2.555 is not a bad pit stop at all, at least not for us. Might not get us the top 10, but now there's the yellow flag. What's happened? What's happened? There's a full safety car. Joe and Magnussen are out. Sonoda's out. And there goes Alonso too. Sonoda and Alonso, 2 people in front of us. Oh, dearie me. We're 9th and 10th. We're 9th and 10th. And Grosjean's got a pit. Award, it might have been just slightly ill-timed because we might have been able to keep Stroll behind us if we were able to do it. But that's what I'm talking about, is that we are currently 9th and 10th. We're going to have to go into the pits. Norris has already jumped both us and Stroll, and so it's all good. But here's the deal, is that it's about to go back to interweather, and then it's going to finish on the wets. And last time we saw that the interweather absolutely destroyed those wet tires, and so I think it's going to be a tire saving game to the finish. So we're restarting 9th and 10th with Award and Grosjean, and we are looking like I don't want to say it now. I'm going to knock on some wood. I think we might be able to bring home 9th and 10th. Knock on wood. If you're at home, knock on wood. because this would be our best finish yet. And so we're just going to pause here. It's lap 26 and just look at the tires. So we've done a really good job. We've been on conservative to try to save our tires because we want 9th and 10th. I don't care about 1 through 8. I don't care. I want 9th or 10th. And George Russell's right behind us. So the Mercedes is faster than us. And so we now have 70s in the 70s and he has 59. And so we have a lot more tire to be able to burn to the finish. So we're going to be able to push to the finish, stay in front of Russell. At least that's the hope. That's the hope, is that we're going to be able to do that. So here we go. Does our strategy work of saving tire like crazy? Saving tire like crazy. We are now trying to just try to stay in front of Russell here by throwing on the battery. And we're a little bit far away from Stroll, but that's okay. Remember, our goal is 9th and 10th. And so, Award's still on conservative, and Grosjean, we're just trying to keep in front of Russell. Just trying to keep him out of our way. Try to not give him a tow or anything like that. We just want to keep him behind us. And so on lap 40, we've been able to do that. Russell's now at 34%, so he's on puncture warning. Norris is at 38, Perez is at 32, and so once again, some of these guys are really close to getting punctures, and so they're going to have to go light, and you can see that we have absolutely ditched Russell since the last time we were in, but nothing else has really happened, and it is the final lap. People are finishing. Award has 9th, and Grosjean, I don't know why we're still on Russell, is going to come in 10th, and we have double points for the first time in Team Andretti history. Double points. We actually more than doubled our points. We came into this race with 2 points. We're leaving this race with 5 points. And so we gained 3 in this race. Fantastic. Carlos Sainz still on top. Max Verstappen won that race. And it looks like Perez came in 3rd. So that was your podium. But there we are. We're 13th and 14th. Grosjean has jumped Albon. That's right. And we are now on our way to catching RB. Maybe. Probably not. But we're definitely on our way to being able to finish really, really well. Ferrari still in front. McLaren. Red Bull catching Red Bull catching McLaren, I should say. Very, very close. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Ben, and I am Baldman Gaming, and we won't make that mistake again. I'm recording this before the next episode, and so if you don't have any audio on this one either, I need to go back to the drawing board. I'm just kidding. I already checked it. And so if you guys like this video, like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, and God bless.